Hello there. How's it going? It's about time to shake hands because our Cubbies are finally playing some good baseball. For Andrew Seidler, I'm Mike McGuire, welcoming you to another podcast from the Zebra Lounge. Today we're going to be, of course, talking about our Cubbies who are now kicking some butts. 11 of 15 wins, not a bad thing, and some of the young guys are starting to produce. The question I have for you today, sir, is which of our young guys are keepers and our plans for 2007, and which of our young guys should be going back to the bullpen or the bench or potentially even Iowa or below? Starting off, looking at a guy who's been pretty hot lately, Rich Hill. What do you think about Mr. Hill?
I mean, I like Rich Hill. You worry that he's one of those guys, he's great in AAA, sub-2 ERA, knockout for the majors. He wouldn't be the first. There are a lot of guys like that.
Sure.
But, man, he is looking really good right now. I know it's a small sampling, but I think that if he can figure out a way to really end up this season nicely and he can be that, fourth or fifth starter next year, that's huge for this team because he's a lefty, which they haven't had too much success with lefties. He's got that devastating hook.
Yep.
And I think he could be, I'm not saying he's Barry Zito out there, but I think he does project, if he has his confidence, which is huge right now, if he has his confidence, I think that could be huge. So I would definitely look for him, if he keeps it going, to be in with the big team.
Sure. I mean, to me, I think he has a higher upside than Sean Marshall.
Yeah,
he's got a little more movement and giddy up on the fastball. Curveball's just as devastating.
Yeah.
You gotta love what he's got.
I agree.
All right, so then we're kind of saying what we think of Marshall.
Yeah, Marshall might be a fifth starter. I think that a little smoke and mirrors this year.
Yep. Nobody'd seen him.
Yeah, I mean, there's talking about a lot of guys that have done that in the majors. I mean, plenty of guys. Amori Telemaco had a no-hitter his first major league outing, and we all
They're
know
not
that.
necessarily carving his bust out for Canton these days, no.
So, I mean, I think Sean Marshall has been a nice thing. It's been a nice story for this year, and maybe he can find his way into the rotation or be a long reliever, but I could very easily see him not, being up with the team next year. It's been circumstance.
Playing at Tampa Bay or something like that. With Sean Marshall, I see a guy who has the potential to be pretty good. Yeah. And the Cubs have already proven they're willing to spend $100 million a year, and pretty good is not good enough.
Yeah.
48 wins at this point is not good enough, and I don't think Marshall really should fit into their long-term plans.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Moving on to the young Carlos Marmol, converted catcher, fireballer. He's got a lot of potential. He's got still, just learning his craft, and he's learning at the major league level. Another guy with a tremendous upside and a live fastball. What do you think about Carlos?
How young is he?
23.
Yeah, I mean, he's throwing really hard. Walks are a problem, but if you watch what Carlos Zambrano's doing, you see that, walks are a problem unless you throw really hard and strike a lot of guys out.
You got the 196 batting average
against. You
against.
can make up for it, and that's sort of what Marmol's doing. He's having these 5, 6, 7 walk games. You pull your hair out, but then you're like 2 hits.
Yeah.
So I think that he's another guy that they are going to have to give a long, look at for next season to crack into that rotation because that arm, you just can't help but love it.
It's a whip.
It's fun to
the
watch.
heat just explodes off of his arm, and it's all over the place. He just had that kind of good wildness. The ball is moving. So for Beef Wellington over here, I'm Bill Wellington, and signing off saying go Cubs.